guys, it's your girl Carrie, and today I will be sharing a fall home decor haul, and I also will be incorporating the 2016 Fall Home Decor Tag. I was tagged by Chrissy Mel. I will be answering all the questions, but I am going to be rearranging the order of the questions. I absolutely host Thanksgiving at my home. Actually, my family rotates the different holidays so that everyone can get a chance to do a different holiday each year. This year, I will be hosting Thanksgiving, but if I wasn't, I would still set up a tablescape and my own immediate family would enjoy that. And I also give themes to my tablescapes or my holidays, and this year's holiday theme is Hunted and Gathered. I had been looking for some natural shed antlers that were huge, you know, at least 4 feet long each, so that could be the focal point of my tablescape. And I found these shortly after Thanksgiving last year. Most of my themes are decided a year in advance because I take advantage of off-season shopping all the time. So these can be quite expensive. I love them. If you check for these in Restoration Hardware, they're not even the natural ones. They're made of resin, and they will be over $100 each antler. And if you try to purchase these, online, they are quite expensive also. I was able to score the pair for $49 at an antique shop. Another item that I was patiently waiting to go on clearance last year to match my Hunted and Gathered theme was this gorgeous turkey platter that was in Potpourri Barn, and it was $149 for just the platter part, and then it also had a dome that went to it, which was also $140. So for the entire set, it would have been $300. It never went on clearance because they reintroduced it again this year. So they never, put it on clearance. But lo and behold, I found an awesome dupe for that platter at Homegoods this year. And it was $39.99 for me to pick up this turkey platter. I absolutely love it. If you take a look at it from the back side, and I am just head over heels over this turkey platter. So these were the two main pieces that I purchased for this year's tablescape, and pretty much everything else I shopped my home. And that's a tip that I want to leave with you guys. When you're looking for themes and you're looking for things to decorate your home with, start with what you have and then just continue to build up. So I'm going to share a few other items that I am going to be incorporating in this year's Thanksgiving tablescape. So here I have some items on this 3-tiered shelf, and let's just start at the top. So at the top I have one of these, little fur wine bottle bags. I think these are really cute. I got this on clearance a couple years back, and I think these would fit in with our whole Hunted and Gathered theme. And then I also, if you remember my last Christmas when I showed you what I got for Christmas, I had a few of these copper stem champagne flutes, but I did not have enough for an entire set. I only had 4 of them, and so I was able to find them again this year. So I was able to pick up 4 more of those, and when I found, the additional 4 of those, I also found the the actual wine glasses. So I'm so happy. I picked up 8 of these also, and I will be using them in our tablescape. I was also able to pick up these cute little copper fall cookie cutters at the Target dollar spot. So my daughter and I will be attempting to make some fall cookies. I will be using our copper toned flatware for the holidays, and I think this will go in really well with all of the wood. Some other gorgeous copper pieces that I picked up on clearance were these, this little pedestal. It could be a candle pedestal or for a small cake dish or something like that. Picked this up from Michael's on clearance. It was 70% off, and I'll be incorporating that in our tablescape. And then these 4 little spoon rests, these copper spoon rests. When you're going around the buffet and you're using the serving spoon, you would just rest that in there so you won't mess up, the linens or anything like that. And I love these. I picked these up from Michael's. They're originally $8, but I got them 70% off, so they were like $2.50 a piece. Now here are some other awesome pieces that I've already had that I'm just going to incorporate with what I have. You guys already seen that wooden charger, so I think that would work perfect with our theme. And you've also seen these. I've had these for several years. I used them last year in my Christmas tablescape. And you've also seen these several years. I've had these little, you know, wooden disc coasters with different names on them. And down here, this is something that I've gotten recently to go with the theme, and they're just little, you know, deer fondue, you know, pickers. And I don't necessarily think we're going to be using these on Thanksgiving. We may or may not do s'mores or something like that, but we will be just using them throughout the holidays, both Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I thought this was just really cute, and it will just fit right in with our theme. And I also like to leave my guests with a little favor when they leave. So again, we'll probably use these cookie cutters to make some cookies. And these little tags will also probably go on little favors. I'm thinking about maybe a little type of olive oil or season that you can give out. I found these little tags on clearance last year in Marshall's. They were just food gift tags, and they were 70 cents, and I just think this would be really, really cute. I probably will just switch out the, you know, the ribbon and put it on the gift. And it says you never need a reason to season. It would be great if you put some sort of spice in a jar or something like that. Then the olive oil, that would be great, you know, if you just got a bottle of olive oil and mixed it with some seasons or something like that and put it on there. I think that would be really, really great. And also I got these 4 favors. Also, these are different types of potpourris, and this one is a cinnamon flavored one, this is a pumpkin spice, and this is the autumn in the air. Pick these up for $1 each at a store called At Home, and I'm going to embellish them and dress them up and put them on a nice tray, and I think these would make for wonderful favors. And another item that I picked up on clearance, it was for $1, are these little picks, and they have, you know, well, medium, and rare. Let me see if you can see rare, and then the medium is somewhere in there. And I thought these were great for the different types of meats. I will also be incorporating this bench that I have in my basement. Again, shopping my home, I'm going to bring this upstairs and put it at our dining room table, remove a couple of the chairs, so this can go in perfectly with our, you know, hunted and gathered theme. I've had this bench for about 10 years. It sits here in a little nook in our basement where you can kind of like sit and talk and chat or something, just a little kind of like hideaway. And I love this, and I got a really good deal on it. They are still selling it. It, you know, normally runs between $850 to $1,000. And I picked this up about 10 years ago at Tuesday morning on clearance for $199. And I just love the stitching in it. I love the, you know, the fur. Now the next question was, how many pumpkins do you own? And believe it or not, I actually only own 1 pumpkin, and this was purchased last year. It's a beautiful, like, antique mercury glass copper pumpkin with a antique silver stem, and I really love it. But I do not get a lot of pumpkins because that would limit me just to fall. When I decorate for the season, I really don't like to just do one season. The only season I truly decorate for is Christmas, but everything that I have will flow from, you know, fall into Christmas, and I like to get things that will not just be specific, so when the holiday is over, I could still use them. Now, you know, I had to, you know, include dishes. Now, if you asked how many pumpkin dishes I do have these little, you know, pumpkin, you know, bowls that you put soup in or fruit or something like that. I do have a set of these for, you know, an entire place setting at my table, but outside of that, that's all I have with the pumpkins. I'm more of a nature girl and, you know, warm and cozy things when I think of fall. So for me, I will probably have more squirrels and sweaters and, you know, cozy things like that. And I was able to score these wonderful, beautiful squirrels at a place called And That. It's a great size. This squirrel is, you know, pretty humongous, and you won't believe the price. It was $1.99 for this beautiful squirrel. And I don't know if you can see the crackle detailing with the distressing on the tail. And I think this is absolutely beautiful. And also this little squirrel dish, I think this is really cute. I got this on clearance for, did you guys hear that? Thank goodness I only lost 70 cents. I just broke my squirrel dish. I think I could still use the bottom stump part. I'm just gonna have to get rid of the top. If you guys know me for any length of time, you know I love cable knit sweater anything. So when I think of fall, instead of pumpkins, I'm bringing out the cable knit sweater. So there are my sweater mugs. In addition, I picked up a couple of, cable knit sweater cozy. Oh, it's a Harvest Gold cable knit sweater throw, and I think that's really cute. And then I also picked up this really cute Harvest Gold, micro plush throw by Ralph Lauren, and it has the nice stitching of the monogram in there, and I just think that is really gorgeous. And this throw was $16.99 from Homegoods. The next question is, do you typically decorate the outside of your home for fall? And my answer is no. I typically do not put any decoration outside, but I was planning on making a wheat wreath with all of the wheat I had left over from last year's Thanksgiving tablescape, but I did not get around to it yet. But I saw this beautiful natural leaf wreath. It's just kind of like leaves of all the fall colors stacked together with some beautiful, beautiful twigs tied in between. And I just thought this was absolutely fabulous and gorgeous. And if you look at this beautiful wreath hanger, I picked up from Pier 1 some years ago on clearance, and I absolutely, love it. So I'm going to hang it outside on my door with this beautiful door hanging wreath. It has a little bit of bling on it. And if I decided to keep it indoors, I could put it, in the shadow boxes in my family room. And just look how beautiful that Harvest Gold cable knit sweater pairs with those leaves. I just absolutely love this wreath. The next question was, are you going to do any DIYs? And yes, DIY is dressing up this coffee filter wreath. I was actually going to make one, but I found this one for 99 cents last year after the holiday season in the Goodwill. So I said, oh, this will be great, a great starting point. The coffee filters are already done, but I saw a picture on Pinterest that added the embellishments down in the corner of the wreath to make it look like fall. And if you have been following me on Instagram, I also saw a beautiful fur wreath in Pier 1. Now that wreath was $79, I believe, and I just want to recreate that fur wreath to coordinate with our and gathered themed Thanksgiving. And the final DIY I will be doing is making a floral arrangement for these absolutely gorgeous vase that I found in Homegoods. I actually spotted these. I have two of the larger ones, but I really wanted to find the one that had the brass bottom. This one here has a silver bottom, but I left the tags on just in case I found it, but it doesn't look like I'm going to find the one with the brass base. But what I was happy about was that inside you can see that screws out. So if I ever find a brass base or something like that, I can switch out the base and make it match whatever it is I want. And these were only $19.99. So I'm going to make a floral arrangement. I do have a couple of natural twigs and stems and lotus pods and all kinds of stuff like that that I'm going to put together. And I got all of these for, on clearance, pennies on the dollar, several years, over time. And I just kind of go in my floral stash and pull things out. Now I will share with you how it turns out once I put everything together. Now the next question was, where is your favorite place to shop for fall? And this is going to be general answer to any and everything, not just for fall. My favorite place to shop is outside. I love starting with nature. And for fall or Christmas or just the winter season, my favorite thing is pine cones. I absolutely love, love, love pine cones. I love all kinds of pine cones. I love the granddaddy pine cones. They call these sugar cones. Like, these are the humongous cones. I love little bitty cones like this. These are cute to embellish little things. I love just the little regular pine cones you can just pick up outside. I like to bleach them. I like to use them as is. You can paint them. The only thing I really don't like to do with a pine cone is put glitter on them. I'm not a big fan of a glittered pine cone, but pine cones are my thing. Love nature. They're free. You can go outside and pick those up and they look beautiful. Just throwing them in a basket can be beautiful. Adding to arrangements. Love, love, love pine cones. In addition to pine cones, I love the pheasant feathers. I just love nature. I love the grapevine wreaths, whether they come in balls or wreaths or string. I love all of these natural substances. So if you ask me where would I start off, I love to start outside. And I didn't put in here, but I like the greenery, moss, things like that to start you know, my decor. Another place I like to shop for any decor, whether it be fall or anything else, is antique shops and thrift shops or what have you, secondhand stores and boutiques. And look at this. You know, you see that I showed a squirrel earlier. Those were white squirrels. But look at this squirrel here with like the antique gold detailing in it. Love, love the squirrel. It's holding an acorn and she is standing on a pine cone. Love, love, love this little squirrel. Now, if you do not find me in a secondhand store or outside grabbing some dirt or some earth off the ground, you will most likely find me in a fabric store. I absolutely love fabric, and fabrics inspire a lot of my designs. Now, this is not a dupe. This is the actual real thing, but this fabric was at one time being sold at Ethan Allen, and it was approximately $60 a yard. Now, you could find it at various other fabric store places. Even in Joann's Fabric at one point, I think it was $24.99. Then it went on sale to, I think the lowest I've seen it is $14.99 a yard, and anywhere in between $14.99 a yard to all the way up to $60 a yard. And at my discount fabric place, I was able to score this fabric, 5 yards of it, for $5. They were selling fabric by the roll. However many yards were on a roll, you could purchase it for $5. So I was able to get 5 yards for $5. Here is another beautiful piece of fabric that I picked up from the discount fabric store. And this, you know, remnant cost me $1. And this would cover a nice table to make a nice tablecloth. And when I'm looking at a discount fabric store, again, I'm thinking about what I already had. And if you recall, these were the dishes that I used for my Thanksgiving tablescape 2 years ago. And this blends in beautifully with the, you know, the deep blues in here. Burnt orange plates I bought a few years back on the Dillard's, you know, clearance sale, and these were about like originally $8, and I got them for a little under $1. And as you can see, they blend in nicely with that you know, orange, that faded orange on this fabric. And my last piece of fabric is this beautiful peacock blue velvet, and this is a warm jewel tone, and I absolutely love velvet because it's so rich and inviting. One of the things that pairs very well with velvet is copper. It looks absolutely gorgeous and rich. Those colors look so well together. Look at all of the copper accessories. So if I took something like, you know, this little candle holder, and I took this little copper candle holder and I just placed a beautiful peacock blue plate on it. Look how gorgeous that will look together. That copper just pops against the warm colors. I will be, you know, using these jewel tones. I have a lot of jewel tone fabrics and dishes. I love jewel tones, so that will come out in this year's tablescapes. And even that same burnt orange plate looks really good against this peacock blue. And if you bring in some of the eggplant and your plums, all of these jewel tones look really, really well together. So again, we're incorporating copper. I showed you another way in some previous videos how it goes with denim. I mean, copper is such a versatile metal. When you're mixing copper with jewel tones, you get that really warm, rich look. Another really nice color that pairs well with the peacock velvet blue is that harvest gold. And again, I don't have to worry about swapping things out because the fall is over. All of these colors can be used throughout both winter and fall. Finally, if you do not find me in the fabric store or the thrift store or outside, you will find me in any retail store that has a clearance or a sale going on, from low end to high end. So I'm going to show you a few other items that I picked up for fall last season that was on clearance. Again, you guys know I love pine cones, so look at all the various pine cones on these napkins, and it just says pining for you. And I plan on doing a breakfast in bed for my husband because I do pine for him. Also, what's fall without football season? And if you've been with me a while, you guys know my husband loves football, and I always say during football season, I am a single woman. My husband and I are divorced because he just tunes out. And I thought this was really cute. It says, "We interrupt this marriage to bring you football season." And I had to pick these up because this represents us so well. And finally, I picked up these really cute plates. You know, they're kind of like Halloween plates, and they say Bon Appetit. And I thought this was really cute, really simple. Again, I got these on clearance. They were $10, and I've seen them elsewhere upwards of $30. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was super duper long, but I hope you guys stay tuned. I will be sharing all of the DIYs that I put together, and I will also be sharing how I put together my final tablescape for the holidays. And until next time, I'm going to keep calm and carry on. Bye guys.